Xiaomi launched the K20 series in May 2019 and the K20 Pro was priced at 28,000 rupees in India. It came with some seriously good specifications, and looking at the specifications that you get on smartphone these days at this price point, I think this phone was really good when it was launched, and it can be really good in 2022, which is why we are going to review the K20 Pro in 2020 and let's see this phone is really that good or not. After the price drop of almost 4,000 rupees, the K20 Pro series is really good, and comparing it to the OnePlus Nord, let's see why this could be a deal breaker for you. The 25-28,000 series price bracket has gone really serious. After the launch of the OnePlus Nord, I think that why not go for the K20 Pro instead of the OnePlus Nord. Yes, there are some things good on the OnePlus Nord, but there are some things that are really good and are really intriguing on the K20 Pro. The OnePlus Nord gives you 765G, which is a great processor, gaming processor. You can play games no problems at all. But on this guy, you have Snapdragon 855, which is a flagship processor. And looking at the price point of the K20 Pro right now, which is 24,000, this is a deal breaker. Comparing it to OnePlus, I think this is cheaper than the OnePlus device, and I think it is a really good deal. The performance of this guy in 2020 is top notch. You do get 6 128 and 8 256 gig variants. If you have the 6 128 gig variant, I think this is a really good deal. The phone is top notch, the performance is top notch. The 6 128 gig variant of the K20 Pro now starts at 24,000 rupees, which is cheaper than the OnePlus Nord. And comparing the 855 to the 765G, I'd say the 855 is a much better deal. If you're gaming, it is good. Performance, it will be good. Yes, this is a real deal breaker. And in 2022, you will not feel that this processor is old. This is an old processor from 2019. The SoC is damn fast, performance is damn good. This phone has a bezel-less, notch-less display, Super AMOLED at 1080p. And I can say the display is pretty darn amazing. Yes, the quality of this display is really amazing. Now Xiaomi did a great job by giving you a pop-up selfie camera. Yes, when you switch to the selfie camera, it pops up. And when you're not using it, it goes back in. Yes, it is using a mechanical motor. And since the last 1 year that I've been using the K20 Pro, I've had no issues at all. Now, coming to the displays. Yeah, the display of this device is capped at 60 Hz. And the OnePlus Nord is at 90 Hz. Yeah, which could be a deal breaker for many of you guys. Yes, 90 Hz will be keeping up with the generations that the phones are being launched at right now. Mostly all phones that are being launched right now are getting 90 Hz minimum. So yeah, that will be a good thing. But the K20 Pro 60 Hz display is not bad at all. 90 Hz will feel a little more fluid. But the 60 Hz display on the K20 Pro will have good performance too. Now do remember that games like PUBG, COD Mobile, they are capped at 60 FPS. So if you're thinking that you can fully utilize a 90 Hz display on gaming, that is not a thing. Only some games like Real Racing 3 do support higher refresh rates. And COD Mobile, PUBG Mobile, they do not support it. On the K20 Pro, you have a triple camera setup. And on the OnePlus Nord, you have 4 cameras. I'll not be talking about the cameras on the OnePlus Nord a lot, because I've used the camera on the K20 Pro. I can tell you it is a really good camera. 48 megapixel lens does a really good job. 13 megapixel ultra wide photos are decent, and the 8 megapixel 2x telephoto lens used for portrait mode and stuff, it does a decent job too. This is not a bad camera in any way. Yes, this is not a flagship camera, do remember that. At this price point, Xiaomi had to make some compromises, and this is where Xiaomi has done it. But over the past few months with software update, I can say that the camera on the K20 Pro has improved a lot. Yes, a lot. It has got support for 4K 60 FPS too, which is again really good. The software updates have been really good on the K20 Pro. They have been regular with it. And yes, did I talk about Miui 12? It is an icing on the cake right now. Okay, so the Oxygen OS on the OnePlus Nord, I know, is great. I accept it. And that close to stock Android experience gives you a great feeling with great animation speed, and yes, it is swift. But Miui 12 is not lagging behind. It has been improved a lot. Privacy features have been improved. There are new gestures which are really good. The animations are fantastic. Now inside the UI you have dark mode, which is also amazing, and it looks really good on the K20 Pro's display. Now coming to the control center. Did I talk about the control center being really similar to the iPhone's control center? Just swipe down from the top right of both the phones and you will see that the control center is almost similar to the iPhone's control center. I don't think that's bad. If you're copying something good, it is alright. And the control center looks really amazing. It does almost every single job that the iPhone's control center does. You have the Bluetooth setting, Wi-Fi settings and many different settings within the control center, and it does the job for you. Now there's a new app drawer in Miui 12 which you get on the K20 Pro, and floating windows is again great. It does a really decent job. Yes, actually more than decent. You can do multiple things within those floating windows, and you can even use and type using your keyboard within that floating window, and it looks really amazing. And there are some really new animated wallpapers that you get on this guy. When you lock your phone, you will see that you get a full animation while locking. Many people don't like it, many people do like it. I personally like it. It is really good and looks really amazing on a very good display. The OnePlus Nord does not give you a headphone jack. The K20 Pro does give you. And you get a 4000 mAh battery on the K20 Pro and a similar looking battery, that is 4115 on the OnePlus Nord. 27 watt fast charging on the K20 Pro and 30 watts on the OnePlus Nord. Pretty much similar. There's not a big difference. Okay, so these are some deals that make the K20 Pro a great phone in 2020. I really do love it. It is a great phone. If you have the budget, you can buy the K20 Pro instead of the OnePlus Nord. I am not going against the OnePlus Nord, but I am just saying these are some reasons why the K20 Pro could be a better option for you. OnePlus Nord has its own advantages, but the K20 Pro is not lagging behind, and sometimes it is better. And if you have a slightly higher budget, you can even go for the Realme X2 Pro, which is slightly better than the K20 Pro. Yes, Snapdragon 855 Plus, better charging speeds, and yes, this phone has a good high refresh rate display too. So the K20 Pro in 2020 is a thumbs up for me. This is an absolute fantastic beast. So guys, that's pretty much it. If you end up liking this video, do hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, enable notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.
These my dollars make it hurt.